I remember a time when I felt absolutely drained, not just physically, emotionally too. I felt like I was doing everything right, yet something still just felt off. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I was chasing, forcing, over-explaining, overworking myself, and honestly running myself right into the ground. At the time, I did not realize that I was stuck in wounded masculine energy. I always needed to be in control. I always needed to work. I always needed to prove my worth through my work. There were also moments where I swung to the other extreme of wounded feminine energy. I'd lose myself in relationships. I would overgive. I was people-pleasing. I did not have boundaries instead of stepping into my power. Does this sound like you? If you've ever felt like you're doing too much or not doing enough and you're kind of yo-yoing back and forth, this video is for you. Before we talk about healthy versus wounded energy, I want to throw up on the screen really quickly feminine and masculine energy so that way you can see both. Before we get into this video, you can rewatch my last video if you need to get caught up on feminine versus masculine energy. Both are powerful and both are within us. Masculine energy is about action, leadership, and structure, getting things done and being goal-oriented. Logic and protection, thinking strategically, making decisions, and ensuring stability. Providing and leading, being decisive. Wounded masculine energy looks like hustling to the point of exhaustion, wearing burnout as a badge of honor, and you never really feel like it's enough. This is going to sting, control issues. You don't trust people to do it, so you rather just take everything on and do it yourself. Emotional detachment or suppression. This is when you're struggling to be vulnerable and you're struggling to express your emotions and express yourself. You're pushing way too hard. You're forcing things to happen instead of letting them flow. There was a time where I felt like I needed to do everything myself. I needed to control every little detail or it wasn't going to be done properly. I needed to work. I needed to hustle. I needed to prove myself. My work was my worthiness. I constantly kept taking on more. I never accepted help, whether that's in friendships, relationships, or work. And I was constantly in survival mode, thinking that I had to control all of the outcomes or it was not going to work. And the crazy part, I thought that this was helping me. I thought this was benefiting me, when really it was draining me. It was absolutely exhausting. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever had to do everything or wanted to do everything because you felt like no one would show up for you and support you? Have you ever struggled with rest because you thought that it would be looked at as weakness? The whole no days off mentality? Because I have, and I've been there. I'm going to tell you how I got out of it. It's still an ongoing process, and sometimes I'm tipped one way or the other with my feminine or masculine energy, and sometimes something comes up where I'm doing a little bit too much of one and it's not quite balanced, but there are things that I do to get the balance back. How did I realize this was unhealthy? For me, I would get sick. Whenever I would work, I would get sick. Whenever I had the no days off mentality, I would get sick. I wouldn't get terribly sick. I wouldn't be hospitalized or anything like that, but I would get sick. And I'm a pretty healthy individual, so when I would get sick, sometimes it would take me down. That's my body telling me that, hey, listen to me. I need you to rest. You're doing too much and I need you to rest. I'm going to give you some actionable tips to help you out of your wounded masculine energy. First, you have to practice trust. It's going to be okay without you. It's going to be okay if they mess up. You can probably correct it. You have to let go and you have to practice some trust. You also have to learn to slow down and practice rest without the guilt. That doesn't make you lazy. That doesn't make you unproductive. It is okay to rest, and sometimes rest is productive. Express your emotions. Learn to express yourself, express your emotions without shutting down. Open up instead of shutting down. When your masculine energy is balanced, you'll make confident decisions. You'll have no problem setting boundaries. And not only are you leading with strength, but you're leading with emotional intelligence. Did any of this resonate with you or hit home for you? If it did, make sure you hit subscribe because this is just the beginning of the energy shifts that we're going to do. And I'll see you in the next video.